involving faith and religion on two fronts. From local reaction to the Pope's historic address to Congress, to one of the most important Islamic holidays. But first, summer may be over, but road construction is not. We'll show you the project to watch out for this weekend. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. On this first full day of fall, the color orange becomes more visible in more ways than one.
Major road construction projects have snarled traffic all summer, particularly those traveling north and south. Reporter Shannon Slatton shares why traffic won't be getting better anytime soon.
Summer might be over, but road construction season is not. Even closures on weekends have produced gridlock.
We're winding down, which is the good news. So we have a few more months left on this particular project with 494. And mid-November to late November, we should have everything back open.
The next closure coming this weekend involves southbound I-494 from the I-694-94 interchange in Maple Grove to 394. Crews will paint two bridges over I-494, repair concrete, and stripe sections of the interstate.
We have an official detour set up. They'll carry all the way over to the east to Highway 169. They'll go southbound on Highway 169 all the way down to Highway 212 and head west. Catch back up with 494.
Drivers will be detoured on southbound 169 this weekend, which means this highway will be busy as well.
We're commuting. Several of us have vans.
Brenda Reeves with the service organization Brooklyn Park Women of Today says 18 people will be traveling south from Brooklyn Park for a fundraiser planned for this weekend at the Renaissance Festival. They will be picking up trash on festival grounds.
It is a fun fundraiser because there's a number of us and we get to, we get to roam around and spend time with each other.
Reeves says they will leave very early on Saturday and beat the traffic. But on the way back,
just grin and bear it. That's, we have good company and we'll just enjoy the extra time with each other.
On the roads, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
A lot of grin and bear it. This weekend's work is part of a 2-year construction plan to improve 494 by repairing pavement and adding a third lane. Today, Pope Francis delivered his much-anticipated and historic speech to a joint session of Congress.
It marked the first time that a pope has addressed both houses. Delane Cleveland joins us now with local reaction. Delane?
Mike and Alex, Pope Francis touched on a number of topics, from climate change to the death penalty and the importance of family. But above all, he wanted members of Congress to work together to solve many of the difficult problems facing America today, one of them being immigration. In doing so, he asked lawmakers to remember the Golden Rule.
Let us treat others with the same passion and compassion with which we want to be treated. Let us seek for others the same possibilities which we seek for ourselves.
The pontiff used a number of American references, bringing up the names of Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln as examples of people who showed courage under pressure. But he was also pointed in his remarks, urging Congress to abolish the death penalty and arms trading and to combat the effects of climate change. Members of Minnesota's congressional delegation I spoke with today said the Pope's comments shouldn't be labeled as liberal or conservative, but should be seen as a call to action.
I think the Pope's speech was heartfelt. It was full of compassion. It was introspective. He touches on issues that we're all facing as elected officials and that the country's facing without being political about it.
I don't really think you can characterize the Pope's politics as much as just look at his general words and then take what you want from them. And in this case, he was putting a call to action that I don't think you could ever say is left or right about working across the aisle to find common ground.
Meanwhile, Democratic Congressman Keith Ellison added that His Holiness made it clear when we prioritize people over politics, America wins. Next up for the Pope is a visit to New York to address the United Nations. Mike?
All right, thank you very much. Members from Holy Name of Jesus Church in Medina say they feel blessed to have the first saint canonized on American soil. Northwest Hennepin Serra Club was founded in 1991 to honor Junipero Serra, a Spanish missionary in California who Pope Francis canonized on Wednesday. Serra is credited with bringing Christianity to native people in the 1700s. And parishioners say it's a very special time to have Pope Francis in America.
we just feel so blessed with that opportunity to be part of that mission of his being here, and this being the first time our country has produced a saint.
The local Serra Club has met monthly on Fridays for many years, waiting for this day to come. Muslims around the world and here in the Northwest Metro are celebrating a big holiday.
A prayer service was held this morning in Brooklyn Park. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us why local Muslims had to change things up at the last minute.
Mike and Alex, the Eid prayer was supposed to take place outside the Brooklyn Park Community Activity Center, but that didn't happen because of all the rain this morning. So they moved the event inside, where space was an issue.
According to Islamic eschatology,
the Community Activity Center is normally not this busy, but it was a popular place to be for members of Masjid Al-Ansar Mosque. They packed this gym to commemorate Eid-al-Adha. It's one of the holiest days in the Muslim faith. It means Feast of Slaughter, celebrating Prophet Abraham's faith and willingness to sacrifice.
This celebration brings together everybody, the three major religions, Muslim, Christian, and the Jewish.
Amar Kamar is one of the organizers. He says the group had to switch things up at the last minute.
I was here early this morning begging them to get us this place, and luckily they opened a door for us.
The congregation gave us a video to show what it was like inside the prayer service. There were 2 services with at least 400 people at each event.
It's very small. Everybody can't fit. Because this day fall on a school day, it was very difficult for us to have a place.
They say it would be easier if they had a permanent place to worship. Right now, they're renting this building in Brooklyn Center.
We have thousands of Muslims, not just from West Africa, but from all over the world that live in Brooklyn Park. They all came here to pray today.
Imam Muhammad Dukli says it's not just about a place to worship, but space to educate its youngest members.
We want to educate them that you don't have to be a fighter, you don't have to be a terrorist, you don't have to be that. If we don't have the environment, the place where we can educate them, of course they'll be educated by the internet.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
It was also a somber day as the congregation remembered the more than 700 killed in a stampede during the annual Muslim Hajj pilgrimage.
In Maple Grove, it's down to 3 finalists for a new city administrator. The vacancy was created when longtime administrator Al Madsen announced he was retiring at the end of next month. The finalists include Heidi Nelson, the city manager of Wayzata for the past 3 years, Dean Lauder, the city manager of New Brighton for more than 8 years, and Carver County Administrator David Hemsey, who has held that position since 2003. And you can meet the finalists at an open house October 15th, and the City Council is expected to make a choice by the end of October.
With the help of students from Hennepin Technical College, a New Hope Park is undergoing a colorful makeover. Gardens will soon rise on the corner of Fred Sims Park, where an old house used to stand. The city enlisted college students to come up with plans for the landscaping. And as part of a class at Hennepin Technical College, students will roll up their sleeves and build the gardens in the next few weeks. For the city, it is a good deal.
We get to work with the students, we get to see their energy and their enthusiasm for what they're going to school for. They come up with great projects, great ideas. They provide the design, the labor, the tools, the equipment. We pay for the supplies.
Hennepin Tech students worked on a similar project several years ago when they put in the landscaping at New Hope City Hall. Coming up, a remarkable story involving a Brooklyn Center student. How this standout student has come a long ways in terms of both travel and opportunity.
Then later in sports, we'll hear from the Hopkins volleyball team as they face a busy stretch of their season.
But first, the skies will clear up, we promise. It's also warming up for the weekend.
A petition is calling on General Mills to put arguably the greatest diver ever on the cover of the Wheaties box. Greg Louganis won Olympic gold medals in the 1980s, but unlike other medal winners, he never appeared on the Wheaties box. Some critics believe it was because Louganis came out as gay and tested positive for HIV. A Chicago mom started the petition last month after seeing a documentary on Louganis, and the movement has gained 40,000 signatures in just over a month. Well, this week's Standout student knows a thing or two about challenges.
Cortez Yamada is thriving at Brooklyn Center High School, but it wasn't long ago this teenager was living in a completely different world.
right? Like, it's meant to be so theoretical that, like, you can't even wrap your brain around it anyway.
In a high-level discussion on theory of knowledge, 17-year-old senior Cortez Yamada is right at home.
And people keep answering them with different theories and getting different answers.
It's remarkable when you consider Cortez's home is actually a small island in the Pacific Ocean south of the Philippines.
I moved here 2 years ago, so I'm still new to the U.S. So I'm still getting used to everything and the cultural change. So it's a big change.
In Palau, a Peace Corps worker saw Cortez's potential and brought him to Minnesota for opportunities.
He comes from a country where minimum wage is really, really low. Finding a job is really difficult.
School back home, my elementary school, we had 23 students from 1st to 8th grade. It was really small, and I didn't really learn English till I moved here 2 years ago, so I'm still kind of learning it. Boom.
No. Not only learning English, he's also taking Spanish and has nearly straight A's while taking college-level courses as an international baccalaureate diploma candidate. He's also athletic, rising quickly to varsity for wrestling and track.
He is an amazing, amazing person.
Right now, the focus for Cortez is clear.
Scholarships, good grades, and then into college.
He wants to become an engineer and perhaps serve in the military. He knows the opportunities he has here can ultimately benefit his family back in Palau.
He will be good for the world. Wherever he goes, he will make a difference in the world.
Cortez would like to attend college next year at either the University of Minnesota or St. Thomas. Coming up, eat breakfast, support a good cause.
But first in sports, a young Armstrong girls soccer team is tied for first in the Northwest Suburban Conference, and Jay Wilcox has the details when we come back. Jay Wilcox with sports now, and we start with Armstrong girls soccer. You know, I suppose it could have been a rebuilding season because they lost a lot of players, but they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, a little bit under the radar this year, but definitely having a good season so far. The Armstrong girls soccer team had a good 2014 season, going 12-2-4. The Falcons lost some key performers from that team to graduation, but they still have a pretty good group. The Falcons are 6-3 heading into Thursday night's game and tied for first in the Northwest Suburban Conference with a 6-1 league mark. That's after starting with non-conference losses to St. Louis Park and Minnetonka as young players adjusted to varsity play.
It's hard to get them to have the team chemistry that we had last year, but they've really fit the role well, and we've grown a lot in the last few weeks. So, as you've seen in our record so far.
We had 2 non-conference games to start. I thought it might take a little longer than that, but the team has really come together and really clicked well, and I think there's a lot more parity in the conference this year as well. I think a lot of teams lost a lot of key players, and so I think it's left things a little bit more open.
After meeting Elk River Thursday, the Falcons hit the field Saturday in a key game for seeding purposes in Section 6AA when they face Hopkins.
You know, let's see what we can do from last year. Let's see if we can show them that we deserve to win that game. Then, you know, they took it from us last year. Let's see if we can take them from this year.
Well, losing to them last year in the sections kind of leaves us a little salty, I would say. So I think we're gonna take it to them on Saturday.
Armstrong plays 2 of the other top contenders in the Northwest Suburban late next week as they face Anoka and Andover. After a relatively light early schedule, though not light in competition, the Hopkins volleyball team faces a busy stretch. The Royals are making progress. It hasn't been all smooth sailing in the early going for the Hopkins Royals. They enter Thursday night with a 3-3 mark that included 3 losses in a row, albeit to good teams.
I think we started kind of rocky, you know, like we thought we were going to win games that we didn't, and I think ultimately led to more wins in the end, and we just kept fighting through those and improving.
Injuries have been an issue with 2 starters slowed. Dynamic outside hitter Jasmine Martin, a Gopher recruit, and setter Tara Lee are battling leg injuries, but it's meant bigger roles for others.
We have good players all around, so I know it's a big loss that 2 of the starters are out, but pretty much everyone on the team can play at a high varsity level, so it hasn't taken that much effect on us.
We've had some other kids step up and surprise us and do a couple things, and it's been really rewarding to see them have fun. And you know, we've always believed hard work is rewarded, and you don't know when you'll get the call to play, and you know, the idea is to always be ready, and they were ready to go.
The Royals will be on the court a lot over the next couple of weeks. They have 3 tournaments in a row, starting with the Eagle Invitational in Apple Valley Friday and Saturday.
Apple Valley tournament is a really good tournament. Usually the top teams in the state are there, and it's a test, and it helps us just competing against all the top teams in the state. And we won last year, so that was nice. So hopefully we can do it again this year.
Just like last year, we took first in Apple Valley. We're hoping to do that again and really see how much we've improved since those losses in the beginning.
Playoff sections have changed this season, meaning the Royals won't have to face Eden Prairie or Wayzata anymore. So they have the state tournament as the ultimate goal. Hopkins hosts Minnetonka tonight, Thursday, before beginning the Apple Valley tournament on Friday. Next Saturday, October 3rd, the Royals host a tournament of their own. Well, we have some pretty solid football teams in the area this season. While a couple of them suffered their first defeats last week, the polls still contain a number of local squads. Eden Prairie remains on top of the 6A poll with Lakeville North second. After an opening loss to Eden Prairie, Totino Grace now has climbed to third in the poll. Maple Grove is up to number 6 after handing Wayzata its first loss. The Trojans are now at number 9. Armstrong and Osseo each received 1 vote. In Class 5A, Mankato West is number 1 with Spring Lake Park second. Armstrong will try to knock off Spring Lake Park on Friday. Cooper drops a few spots to number 8 after the Hawks lost their first game last week to Park Center. Rogers comes in at number 10. So hard to believe, but we're heading toward the end of the regular season already in football.
Unbelievable. Thanks a lot, Jay.
You're welcome.
Coming up, batter up and eat up.
Free pancakes and an opportunity to support a good cause. We'll be right back.
And finally, it is a good day to enjoy breakfast all day long.
At Perkins in Maple Grove, the restaurant is serving up free pancakes all day as a way to raise money for charity. Anyone who gets free pancakes at a Perkins restaurant on Thursday is encouraged to make a donation to Give Kids the World. The nonprofit provides children with life-threatening illnesses an opportunity to vacation with family at a resort in Florida.
Give Kids the World has welcomed 140,000 families from all 50 states in 75 different countries. Minnesota is a huge market for us. Probably over 500 wishes every year come from the Minnesota area.
The Maple Grove location is one of many Twin Cities Perkins participating in Give Kids the World Pancake Day. Well, there you go, the power of pancakes.
That's right. You can do breakfast for dinner. We're talking like kids love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow.